I thought it was bad, but I liked it. That was an actual comment that I heard as I walked out of my local AMC Imax theater because I'm not a peasant and I got to see this movie early, unlike you hacks that have yet to see this movie. No, but in all seriousness, that actually was a comment that me and my sister heard as we were walking out of the theater after we got done with our showing of Dune Part 2. And, there was something I didn't have yet to address on this channel, and it was something I thought about doing when I was considering making a Madame Web movie review, but then I thought, what can I possibly add to the conversation that hasn't already been said yet? Well, there is something I can add, and that's the fact that casual moviegoers do not need to be giving their opinions right as they come out of the theater, especially you normiellenials that have no business talking about cinema. But this is also what happens when people like Chris Stuckman refuse to review movies because he's scared to, all because of a rather convenient position to take, because he says that he's made a movie and he doesn't quite understand what it's like to make a movie from the perspective of working under a big studio. Well, that's a rather convenient position to take there, Stucky Boy, because a lot of your fans were really counting on you to review the Madame Web movie just so they could know whether that movie was worth their time or not. And now we have normies giving out their opinions that are completely unwanted and as ridiculous as the ones that I mentioned very early on in this video. I thought it was bad, but I liked it. What does that mean? Who the fuck are you to even say that? You know nothing of movies. But see, Chris Stuckman, this is what happens. And if you normies don't understand what I'm talking about, let me paint this picture for you in Marvel terms. Think of the time when Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2 lost his powers. What happened? He was unable to protect innocent bystanders who were getting beat up, or unable to attend an ambulance, or police officers chasing after a convict. That's what happened. And he also led a life of convenience when he no longer had his powers, or temporarily lost his powers. He got to experience that quote-unquote good life. But it turns out, when you neglect the responsibility to do what's necessary, things go to shit. And this is what happens when Chris Stuckman refuses to review his movies. Things go to shit. And that is why you constantly hear bullshit takes, bullshit reviews from people that know nothing of movies. People who are not trustworthy and their opinions are absolute dog shit. But in all seriousness, regardless of that ridiculous statement at the beginning or even the controversy with Chris Stuckman, I actually thought Dune Part 2 was a massive hit. I actually enjoyed this movie myself. I liked it much better than Part 1. Yep, I'm saying it. It's way better than Part 1. And I know there's some people out there that are saying that, it's not better than Part 1. Part 1 still, they still hold Part 1 dear to them. And I'm just gonna have to say this much. I think you're smoking crack if you think Part 1 was way better than Part 2. Part 2 was top notch. And speaking of top notch,
Hi, my name is Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve is really knocks it out of the park with this one. I've always been a big fan of his. I've really liked his movie Prisoners. That's what really made me fall in love with his work. And even up to the point of, Blade Runner 2049. I've been a huge fan of his. I really love his work. And Dune Part 2 is definitely a step up from Dune Part 1. And one of my main issues that I had with Dune Part 1 was the pacing, or the slow amount of pacing and the heavy exposition that film had. This one, towards the beginning, there is a little bit of a pacing issue in terms of like how slow it is. But once you get to the second half of the movie, that's when things get really good, and there's enough going on to keep your attention, or to the point where you're not getting bored with the story that's being told and the world that's being unfolded before your eyes. And I definitely think the director really upped his game this time around. Not that he's been incapable of doing so, but I think this was a necessary progression from the first movie. And if you weren't even really a big fan of Dune Part 1, or you're just not really a big fan of this, the Dune franchise or the books that this movie's originated from, I think you'll definitely be interested in this one in particular. The action scenes are great, the characters are great, and that's actually going to lead on to my next point with the top-notchness. Top-notchness, that's not even a fucking word. But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, my next point.
Consider what you're about to do, Paul Atreides.
The characters this time around, especially with the main lead, Paul Atreides, or played by Timothy Chalamet, whatever his beta name is. Yeah, he's actually pretty good this time around. Very great lead. And you know, it's definitely a very calculated decision on the studio's end to, you know, hire someone like this actor to play a role such as this, because he's been an upcoming actor within the drama sphere. He's got that like bitch boy look to him, but he's also got like that pretty boy look that like is very engaging, and everyone can, like, you know, get accustomed to him. Really enjoy watching him, you know, and his performance. That much can be said for sure, even if you're not a big fan of his. But yeah, I think he does a great job this time around. And some other actors or characters. Zendaya, she's in the movie. I'm kind of being an ass right there, but yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I always thought, like, you know, Zendaya was kind of overrated, in my opinion, in terms of her looks. She's kind of mid-Daya, if you will. But no, in this movie, she's actually pretty good. It definitely has a bigger role this time around compared to the first one. And of course, without getting into spoilers, you'll see how that really plays into the whole story, and especially how this movie ends off. Yeah, she's pretty good in this movie. And Florence Pugh. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to relax right there. But yeah, for a second, I almost forgot she was in the movie, even though she's like the first person you see at the very beginning of the movie. I almost forgot about her and Christopher Walken. But no, their characters are pretty great. And Florence Pugh, stunning as ever, even though she's barely in the movie. And does she have a lot of lines? I mean, she's got quite a bit, because she is a pretty significant character, especially with like who she's associated with. But yeah, other than her and Christopher Walken barely even really being in the movie and not really having that many lines to work with. Actually, no. There is one significant actor I am leaving out, and I honestly think he was the highlight of this movie, and that is...
Let's get these out of here.
Oh, wait a minute. Why do you get the best room? I was here first.
I'm here now.
I'm older.
I'm bigger.
Did you grow since Christmas?
2 inches, cuz. I can tag a stop sign without even having to jump. How's mathletes?
I don't do mathletes anymore.
You tired of getting beat up?
Yep, you guessed it. Austin Butler's character, Feyd-Rautha. Feyd-Rautha had a pretty significant role in the movie, especially towards the second half of the movie. He's a great antagonist, and honestly, I think, you know, when I watch someone like Austin Butler perform with this character, it really goes to show you how far someone like this actor has gone, or like how far he's come. Because I remember this dude back in the day on like Zoe 101. What was it, that Sharpay adventure? I can't remember the fucking movie. I'll put it up on the screen. Some CW schlock, and then that Elvis movie, which he got really famous for. Which, I mean, I honestly have not bothered watching Elvis, nor do I plan on it. Just looks like a bunch of overrated schlock, if you will. But I know with that movie, he was definitely the standout, and even to the point where he couldn't get out of that Elvis phase, or that Elvis voice, if you will, where he talks like this in almost every single interview.
And you feel things that it's hard to actually put into language.
Yeah.
Because it's these really intense feelings, and so that was really liberating for me to know that all of the pressure that I was feeling, the responsibility and the fear that I had, was okay.
But I am happy to report that based on this movie-going experience with Dune Part 2, he finally gets out of that Elvis phase, and instead just sounds like Stellan Skarsgård's character.
To begin selling our spice reserves. We don't want the price to fall.
May thy knife
trip and shatter.
And yeah, it kind of threw me off, kind of caught me off guard, honestly, when I heard him speak in the movie. Because at first I thought like he was kind of speaking regularly, but the more he was talking, the more like he sounded like Stellan Skarsgård's character. Because and honestly, he was doing a really good job of it, because he was honestly mimicking like word for word, beat for beat, what his character sounds like. And I thought it was, you know, again, top notch. And according to the actor himself, Austin Butler, he actually did work with a dialect coach to get that voice down to really mimic Stellan Skarsgård's character. And I actually thought it was pretty cool, and I was happy to not hear him talk like Elvis for once in his fucking life. That was great. I loved it. And honestly, I don't really know if there was really anyone else in the movie or any other character that really outperformed Austin Butler in that regard. Not to say that there weren't any other great characters, because there definitely were, and there were definitely some standouts, but I think he was the major standout for sure. But speaking of things that stood out to me, especially on a technical level,
that fucking Imax is the only way to watch this film.
I saw the film opening night in IMAX and it blew my balls off.
Right on a technical level.
Yeah, the IMAX scenes are spectacular.
Spectacular.
Yeah, in all seriousness, the scenes were shot very well. Everything felt grand. Like, I felt like I was actually in the world of Dune. I felt like I was on that planet, that sandy planet, where everything's just grand. It's all that open space, and at times claustrophobic, but I mean, you really feel immersed if you see this movie in IMAX. I mean, you really do, and I'm not just saying that as a meme or a joke. You really do feel it. And also, in terms of feeling, the sound design, holy shit, the sound design for this movie was fantastic. Like, dude, when you start like hearing like the humming noise, or like from those like worm creatures, I can't remember what they're called at the top of my head. I'll put it on screen. But when you hear that sound, or like that rumbling noise, oh dude, like that was like, it felt like a fucking, like I was getting a massage like where I was sitting, because like it was like that booming humming noise. And honestly, I'm gonna fucking say this. All right, I'm gonna say it. Zack Snyder is still the blueprint, okay, in terms of sound design. And it's a wonder why you know, the director for Dune Part 2 hired Hans Zimmer to compose the score, and probably work with the sound as well, because there's a lot of beats in here where it just sounds like it just came out of Man of Steel, especially with the humming noise and like the booming noise. Like oh dude, that was great. It was awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much my overall thoughts on this movie. I don't really have any negatives for this movie, not that I can think of. If I were to rate it out of 10, it'd probably be an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely better than the first one. I think the pacing is much better. I mean, a little slow at the start, but once the movie really gets going, it really gets going, and I was heavily invested. There was enough going on to keep me interested, and the way this movie ended off, I definitely want to see more of it, and it looks like we're probably going to get more, because it's doing really well at the box office from what I've seen. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a third one if it gets greenlit anytime soon, which it probably will. And apparently there's some TV series. I don't know if it's supposed to come out this year or next year, but there's some TV series that's connected to this movie that's supposed to be premiering on Max. I don't know if I'll watch that one. Maybe I'll just wait before, like, or just wait till after all the episodes drop, because I don't like keeping up with TV shows on a weekly basis. I like to have it all there, because number one, if I want to watch, you know, a TV show, I'll watch it on regular cable TV. If I want to watch something on streaming, I'll stream it. Okay, I want to watch it all in one setting. I don't like to wait on a weekly basis just to watch some boring schlock. Not to say that Dune series will be schlock by any means, but again, don't know. It's too early to say. But yeah, other than that, Dune Part 2, highly recommend seeing it, especially in IMAX. I think you're really doing yourself a disservice if you're not seeing this movie in IMAX. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say, except for one thing, actually.
We come to this place for magic.
And this is something that no one will ask because I am the only one that is willing to report the news, the cold-hearted truth that none of you simps will ever be able to grasp. And that is, when the fuck will we ever stop seeing Nicole Kidman in those AMC ads? Or that one AMC ad that plays right before the movie starts? And when are we ever gonna stop seeing that same fucking ad? I mean, dude, I honestly thought, like, you know, something like The Weeknd, for example, like The Weeknd in the Fortnite item shop. I know that was getting memed to high heaven with how long it's been in the item shop, but dude, Nicole Kidman has outlasted The Weeknd in the Fortnite item shop, or in terms of the longevity of how a certain thing stays. I thought we would be at a point, like, we are in the year 2024 AD, and Nicole Kidman has still not been removed from that AMC ad, or not even to the point where they've just, like, you know, filmed another AMC commercial or an AMC ad right before the movie starts with her. I thought they were going to do that at some point, but it looks like they haven't. And I have to wonder, will we see the end of the Nicole Kidman ad before the release of GTA 6? Let me know in the comments below. But in all seriousness, guys, let me know if you are excited for Dune Part 2, or if you have seen it, if you saw it early in IMAX. Let me know what you thought, and if you agreed with any of the things I said or disagreed. I really want to know. So please tell me. And also, if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more banger content, because if you don't, I can't give it to you, okay? I just can't, alright? Alright, but anyways, I know, in all seriousness, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this.
Your damn asses I know about I grew up with. I put it in all my videos now to fuck with you.
See, I grew up in a very mixed race environment.
I grew up with.
I had tons of friends of color.
Fuck with you. I got a Donnie Darko review coming out soon in a couple hours.
It's stuck my eyes.
I grew up with.
AMC Theaters. We make movies better.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do this anymore.